Hi guys, welcome to week 8 yoga with me, Rachel Warren, spring inspired yoga, and we've changed our asana of the month because it's the month of May, and Rita, thank you Rita, has kindly chosen for us the asana warrior. Warrior is a great asana to do throughout May. It's really about building strength in the legs and also releasing pressure off the back. Strong in the shoulders, also for mentality. It's really good for building confidence. It's a very strong pose, so great all-round posture for us to practice in the start of spring. Things to remember is that it is warrior is connected to the root chakra, which is located down in the lower abs. So it's actually located in the perineum. So that is actually located where you are generally holding your wee. So really think about that as we do the warrior. So really engage your lower abs and really imagine that you're pulling up and holding your wee in basically. So not as glamorous as we would think, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're working that chakra. Chakra is about working that energy system within the body, and sometimes we find that we're unbalanced with those energy systems. So root chakra really means that we balance out our connectivity to nature and connectivity to the body as well. So I look forward to practicing with you today. So come to a seated position on your mat. You will need a strap today or an old tie. A block if you want to either sit on a block to raise your hips and straighten your back and drop your shoulders down. And we may need it a few times just through going through some of the asanas. Really important that you listen to the body throughout the practice and just go at your own pace. Come into child's pose if you need to. So just come to a cross-legged sitting position, or legs out in front of you if cross-legged isn't that comfortable for you. Place your hands just on your legs, on your knees, and start to inhale deeply. If you want to close your eyes for a few rounds of breathing. This helps just bring us into the present moment. Set your intention for the practice, and this might be bringing energy to yourself, bringing energy to loved ones. Start to really deeply inhale, and you can use a count for 4 on the inhale. Pause at the top of the inhale and start to exhale for either 6 or 8. Squeezing your stomach muscles at the bottom of the exhale. Inhale deeply. Imagine a piece of string being pulled from the top of your head. Relax the shoulders down the back as you exhale. Forgetting about your thoughts, forgetting about where you're going and where you've been. Just come to a resting position on your yoga mat, where it's just thinking about your own meditation flowing through the asanas and finding some stillness and some calmness in this crazy world at the moment. Still breathing. And then slowly open your eyes and take an inhale, reaching the arms to the sky and reaching out of the hip sockets. You're really reaching for the sky, stretching the fingers. Inhale. And grabbing the right side and just pulling it gently to the right. So you're opening up the shoulder blades first of all. Exhale to the centre and pulling the left side. Inhale and exhale back to the centre. Placing the fingers, interlace the fingers together and dropping the arms and just curling the back, rounding the upper back, tucking the chin in, taking a deep breath. for 4. And exhale, 6 or 8. Squeezing the belly at the bottom. And then releasing the fingers, releasing the hands, placing the palms together, straightening the arms as much as you can, just to open out the chest, pushing the shoulders down the back and tucking the chin in, and taking a deep inhale. And exhale. As you exhale, pull the shoulders down the back. Releasing the arms, just give the arms a little bit of a shake, and lifting the arms up to the sky. And a full stretch, side body stretch. Breathing it out. Making sure that you're not tipping too far forward or too far back. You're staying in a nice central position. Inhale. And breathing through the side body. Exhale. Lifting the arms up to the sky and dropping down onto the other side. Side body stretch. Waking up the obliques. Located in the side body. Inhale, lifting the arms up to the sky. And then just folding forward. Coming as far as you can. Resting the head. Inhale deeply and exhale. Walking the fingers back towards you and opening the legs out wide. They're coming to a wide V. Making sure the inner abductors are engaged and flexing the feet so the legs are nice and engaged. And folding forward. Again, you'll feel a little bit deeper into the hip sockets. And walking the fingers out in front. And walking the fingers over to the side. And opening out the right side. Opening out the shoulder, hand to the sky. Arm stays really active here. Inhale. And exhale, dropping the right hand, walking the fingers over to the right side. Opening out the left side. Spreading the fingers wide. Gazing up to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, dropping the left side, walking the fingers, and then walking the fingers back towards you. Pulling the knees in, placing the feet together, and just a gentle hip opener to start with. Butterfly, the papillon of the butterfly. Clasping your feet. It doesn't matter if your feet are far out in front of you. The main thing is just dropping your knees open, lifting the chest. Lifting the head, so you're not collapsing into the pose. You're creating space in the body. Inhale. And exhale. Again, pushing the shoulders down the back. And then just releasing the legs and coming onto all fours. Placing the wrists directly under the shoulders and your knees directly under the hips. So you're creating a nice square. If you want to slightly bend the elbows, then bend the elbows. The main thing is the hands are nice and spread out the fingers. So plant the hands into the mat. And then lifting up the left side. Inhale. And then we're going to thread the left underneath the right arm and drop the shoulder and the head to the mat. Releasing. If you want to lift up the top arm, lift the top arm up. Inhale. And exhale. Dropping that hand to the mat. Just lifting back up. And the other side, right side, lifting the arm up to the sky, reaching, spreading the fingers, and then threading through underneath the arm, placing the head and the shoulder on the mat, lifting up the left side. Inhale. And exhale. Left hand back down to the mat. And then just coming onto all fours. And then inhale, lifting the left arm, right leg out in front of you. Arm comes up by the ear and the leg stays parallel with the hips, so the hips aren't hitching up. Tucking the belly in. And with your own breath, inhale and exhale, placing the hand and the leg back down, switching sides. Keep moving with the breath. Exhale, inhale here. And exhale, back down to the mat. Inhale, other side. And exhale, down to the mat. On the right side, right arm, left leg. Inhale. And exhale, bring it round. And then just do some little hip circles with the hips, just to massage out the hips. Inhale. Just nice to get into the hip sockets nice and early. It's just a nice massage for the hips, pushing the hips back into the heels as you go round. You might hear a little bit of crunching in knees, that's fine. Keeping the focus on the breath, staying in the present. And then again, just lifting up, just a few cat-cows. So lift up the head, open, on an inhale, lift the head, open the chest, push the back down and stick the tailbone up to the sky. Inhale, if you want to bend the elbows slightly, bend the elbows. And exhale, round the back. Tuck the chin in, lift up the back, round the back. Tuck the tailbone down. Exhale, and then inhale, lifting the head. Opening the shoulders, lifting the tailbone, concave the back. Inhale, exhale, pushing back up to the sky, rounding the back. Inhale, just come back to a flat back, and then push the heels back into, push the hips back into the heels, and use the mat as a resistance. So you're really aiming to get your hips down to touch your heels. You might find this difficult if you've got tight hips. But hopefully all those pigeons that we've been doing throughout April will open the hips out for you. Inhale and exhale. Dropping the shoulders down the back. And then coming up onto your knees. And lifting the chest and lifting the head. Just come up, the upper body is stacked over the knees. If you want a little bit more protection under your knees, then tuck the mat under. And just use the mat as more padding for underneath your knees. And we're going to come into camel. So start to open up the chest, open up the shoulders. And if you want to place your hands on your lower back, either facing the fingers down or facing the fingers upwards. You might find placing them upwards, it's a little bit uncomfortable to start with, but you really start to open up the shoulders. Inhale. Squeeze the glutes here to protect the lower back, pushing the hips forward. Exhale. And only if you want to, we can take it further. So take it further by untucking the toes, lifting the heels up, releasing the hands, and then just leaning back and grabbing your heels. Try not to wiggle the hips from side to side, keep them pushing forward. Again, squeezing the glutes is really important here. No pressure on the lower back. Inhale and exhale. Stretches out the toes as well. Inhale and exhale, roll forward. Untuck the toes and come into child's pose. And start to rock the hips from side to side. Lifting the head, lifting the chest, and stepping the left leg forward. Keeping the right leg down onto the mat. And then we're just going to lift up the left arm to the sky. Inhale. And open out that hip on the left side. So it doesn't matter if your foot comes open, we're just opening out and pushing down into that hip socket. Making sure the heel is nicely underneath the knee. Opening it out. Inhale, arms to the sky. And exhale, placing the hand back down. Pushing the left leg back. And then stepping the right foot forward to the top of the mat. Making sure the heel is underneath the knee directly. Lifting up the right side to the sky. Opening out that right knee. Opens out the hips. Drops the hips into the floor. Inhale. And exhale, dropping the hands. Pushing the foot back. And this time untuck the toes. Come into downward facing dog. Open up the back body. Bending the knees. If you find it difficult to straighten your back, bend the knees. It means you've got tight hamstrings. Paddle out the knees. And then inhale, lifting the heels up onto the tippy toes. And exhale, heels down to as close to the floor as you can get them. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Step the left leg to the top of the mat. Step the right leg to the top of the mat. Feet hip width apart. And just hang here in forward fold. Tipping the weight slightly forward. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze the breath out through the belly and slowly start to one vertebra at a time, bending the knees and coming up to standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. Nice and strong in mountain pose. Pull up the thighs, engage the glutes and pull down the tailbone. Stand nice and tall. Inhale, reaching the arms up to the sky. Slight back bend. And exhale, folding all the way forward. Down to the mat. Releasing the arms, releasing the shoulders. Inhale, lifting the head, lifting the chest. Straighten the legs for up dog. Inhale. Exhale, stepping the left leg to the back of the mat. Placing the hands on the floor. Stepping the right leg into plank. Take a breath here. Inhale. And exhale, knees, chest, chin. All the way to the mat. Tucking the elbows in. Pushing forward. Pushing into cobra. Opening out the chest. Opening out the shoulders. Gazing up to the sky. Exhale, lifting the hips. Untucking the toes into downward facing dog. And just finding some stillness in downward facing dog. Creating some space between your shoulders and your ears. And moving the head from side to side, releasing tension in the neck. Remember, you're really straightening the arms here and the back. Doesn't matter if the knees are bent. Just means you have tight hamstrings. Stepping the left leg to the top of the mat. Stepping the right leg to the top of the mat. And slowly start to uncurl, lifting up to the sky. Placing the hands together or out to the sides if you've got tight shoulders. Exhale, hands to heart. Roll the shoulders down the back. Round on the right side. Inhale, arms to the sky. And exhale, folding forward all the way down to the mat. Inhale to a flat back, straight legs. And exhale, stepping the right leg to the back.
Stepping the left leg to the back, coming into plank. Rearranging plank so your hands are stacked under your shoulders. Inhale. And exhale, drop the knees, drop the chest. Exhale. Inhale, push the front body forward, opening out the chest and opening out the shoulders in cobra. And exhale, untuck the toes, lifting the hips up to the sky. Downward facing dog. And stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Stepping the right leg to the top of the mat. And stepping the left leg. And come up, root to rise, all the way up to the sky, placing the hands together. And down to the heart center. And we're going to practice our warrior now. So this is Surya Namaskara B, Sun Salutation B. So you'll hear this in the Ashtanga sequence. So we're going to include warrior 1 in our sequence. Inhale, reaching your arms up to the sky. Folding forward on the exhale. Inhale to a flat back, straighten the legs. Exhale, stepping the left leg to the back of the mat. Stepping the right leg to the back of the mat. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Pushing into cobra. Lifting the chest, opening the shoulders. And pushing down. Lifting the hips and tucking the toes in downward facing dog. And then stepping the left leg to the top of the mat. And we're coming into warrior. So lift up the arms, lift up the chest. And with the warrior 1, your heel can either be up off the mat or you can place it down. Just depends whether your hips are super open. So you can place your foot down onto the mat, making sure your hips are facing forward. Knee, making sure that it's directly over the ankle. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale. Go deeper, lunge into it. Inhale, straighten the leg. And this time we're going to twist to the left. Stay here, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, arms up, straighten the leg, and then placing the hands back down onto the mat. Stepping the left leg back, downward facing dog. Stepping the left leg and the right leg to the top of the mat. And reaching the arms up to the sky. Placing the palms together and down to the heart center. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Bring calmness and stillness and onto the other side. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale, swan dive all the way forward. Forward fold. Bend the knees in the forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Straighten the legs. And stepping the right leg to the back of the mat. Stepping the left leg to the back of the mat into plank. Knees, chest and chin. All the way down. Inhale, lifting into cobra. And pushing the hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, stepping the right leg forward. Coming up into warrior 1. Inhale, and again, you might be lifting the heel up off the mat or placing it down. Just making sure the hips again are facing forward. Lunging into that front leg. Inhale. exhale. Inhale, straighten the leg. And as you exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, straighten the leg up to the sky. And exhale, placing the hands down onto the mat. Right leg back, downward facing dog. Give yourself 3 deep breaths in downward facing dog. Enjoy being in this rested, or come into child's pose. If you want to come into child's pose, no problem. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, stepping the right leg forward. Stepping the left leg forward. And just forward bend, bending the knees. And slowly come up to the top of the mat. Lifting the arms up. Dropping the hands to the heart center. Great, that's how warrior one. How are the legs? Just wiggle the hips from side to side. Do some mini circles. And we're going to come into eagle. So eagle is really great for opening out the back of the shoulders and massaging the thighs as well. So we're going to start with eagle arms. So open the arms out wide. Stance is about hip width apart, legs hip width apart. And we'll start to wrap the right arm underneath the left arm, lifting up the hands. Now the back of the hands might be together, and that's fine to stay there. Or you can place the hands together, just to give a little bit more of a tighter squeeze. Key thing here is lifting up the elbows. So lift up the elbows and take a deep breath here. Inhale and exhale. And we'll do the legs, just so I'll show you the legs. So start to shift the weight on the left side, bending the knees. Find a focal point, not moving. Lifting up the right leg and wrapping it around the left. If you are just here, that's absolutely fine. If you can't wrap your leg around the left leg, then just place the toes on the floor as a support. The main thing is getting the squeeze in the thighs. Push the tailbone down. Try and wrap all the way around. Woo. Finding the balance. Finding the focal point. And stay here and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Releasing the legs and just easing out the legs. And I'll join you in the next video for us to do the other side, and we'll do them all together.